I hate you. I hate you, Morton.
Willie, welcome. My name is Morton. I'm a health and performance coach. I have trained professional athletes, newcomers to lifting and endurance, and everything in between. This is Coop, the best YouTuber on the planet and a longtime coach and client of mine. He's also someone I look up to. Don't tell him I said that. And he recently fired me. This is us sitting down to chat one more time.
All right, cool. How's your day going?
Fantastic. Because I get to talk to you. Did you just get done riding your bike?
No, I lifted and then had a quick call and then I'm here now. I
Uh,
don't know
can't
ex
tell.
uh,
Just kidding.
I'll probably call it like the exit interview or something like that. So I'll need some drama. So if you got some juice.
I hate you. I hate you, Morton. You made me too strong.
All
There
right.
you go.
Apologies. Number one, two, keep that energy up, that's good.
Of course he doesn't hate me. Or does he?
Why are you
One
leaving me
piece.
after 2 years of massive success, huge muscles, the biggest mustache that I've ever seen, and the strongest hamstrings in Missouri?
They are getting stronger. I did Nordics today, actually.
Oh, for real?
Do you want me to actually answer that question?
Oh yeah. I mean, I can cut it out if I'm like crying or something.
Yeah, no, mainly because I want to do my own programming. I want to be more involved in my own programming. You notice this, like I would switch out exercises and stuff like that just because, um, one, I think it's impossible to program for what I do like consistently because I'm constantly changing stuff out. So it's like,
Yeah.
impossible to basically expect that to happen. Two, for the amount of equipment I'm constantly testing, and three, the amount of like random like yesterday or this morning I did T-bar rows, but I did them with the landmine. But like I did it at a slightly higher angle, so the strength curve would be slightly different. I'm like just constantly tweaking with that stuff. So I just wanted to be more involved in that process. Also, um, I'm going from just focusing primarily on strength to I want to do more bodybuilding type stuff. And with there being more bodybuilding type stuff, it's a lot more volume, and the volume is changing constantly along with the exercises, which allows me to tweak more things, like on the fly. And I'm using more different, not so much different movements, but more different machines. And so I'm kind of just nerding out right now on like all the different equipment. So I've bought so much different like old school machines, and like
Yeah.
my garage is full right now, or it is ridiculous. But I'm building a shop in the backyard, so hopefully that will alleviate itself soon.
All right. You hate me. Okay. No,
Exactly.
I saw I don't know.
It's you, not me.
Yeah, no, it always is. I did see the I don't know if it was video or whatever, but I did see the ham curl, the all like your garage is I'm taking up one stall with a little gym, but
Dude,
I mean
it's
you
getting
want
it yeah, it's getting bad. I have a hip thrust out there now, machine incline press, arm curl, leg extension, and I've got a lot more on the way. I've got an abductor adductor machine because I had to buy it as part of like I bought a group of machines and the guy wanted to sell it as a lot. So I don't know if I'll keep it, but yeah, just a
yeah.
lot.
All right. Well, what's Molly think about that?
Oh, she's good. She she she's like, I've never parked in the garage. I knew I was never going to park in the garage, so I don't even want to get my hopes up about it. She doesn't even care. Like, I mean, we got so many kids coming. We got to get a bigger van. The bigger van's not going to fit in the garage anyways. So it's like,
Are you going to move again? I know you wanted to just stay there, but
no, I'm here for life.
all right.
I mean, our house pretty like I can fit all sorts of humans and animals in this place.
Books
The
too, and you.
books, yeah. Yeah, our house is real big. I mean, we'd have to have a lot of kids to have to outgrow this place.
All right, I'll talk to
So,
you in 5 years.
and I'm building the shop. Yeah, I'm building the shop, and so that's kind of like me putting my flag down. Like once I build that, I'm building the way I want, which means it's going to cost some money, and it's you don't get the money out of it when you sell houses with shops. So I'm pretty much saying I'm here for a while.
All right. Yeah, like I said, I'll talk to you in 5 years. But talk to me why you work out. and specifically why you work
Yeah.
the way you do. And like, you can take us kind of me over, through time a little bit with it too, because I know it's changed.
Sure. So why I work out is just an extension of why I live, and there's multiple aspects to that. I'll first answer it with the first answer to the. This is going to be a softball or a curveball for you, but the first question in the Heidelberg Catechism says, "What is the chief end of man?" And the chief end of man is to glorify God and enjoy Him forever. So the reason I work out is an extension of me glorifying God and enjoying Him forever. The way that plays itself out is I want to be as functional as possible for all the things that I have to do in life. So that includes loving my family. That includes serving my neighbors. That includes working hard in my job. That includes everything I do. Working out allows me to be better in every area of life and allows me to do the things that I'm called to do in a greater aspect. So that's one answer. Second answer, I want to be a badass 90-year-old. So I want to live long and I want to live a life I enjoy. Like, I don't want to, if I had to choose between a long life that sucked or a shorter life that was better, I'd choose the shorter life. But I'm going with the both and. I'm saying I want a long life and I want it to be an awesome life. And so I don't want to be restricted by my functionality, by my strength. Um, like I want to be able to move and live and enjoy life and enjoy the people that I enjoy life with. And I want to be able to serve my people. I want to be able to serve my family. I want to be able to throw my kids in the air, my grandkids. Like I want to do all that stuff. Third, I want to look dang good naked. And let me tell you something, Morton, which you've seen.
Wait,
No, I'm
wait,
just
wait,
kidding.
wait. Ready.
I want to look good too. Aesthetics is definitely a portion of it. I want to look good for my wife. I enjoy looking good, and so I'm still working towards that. but but that's certainly a part of it. For me, another part is like I work. This is part of my job, and I take my job seriously, and so I want to do a good job in my job. The only way that's going to happen, whether I worked out or not, but especially because my job is gym equipment, if I don't use the freaking thing, like I can't talk about the thing. Like I can't, like it's just impossible. Like I live with passion. I can't, I'm not good at like making it up. Like I have to actually be interested in it. So one way I stay interested in my job is I actually use this stuff. It's like part of it's like Pokemon, got to catch them all. Like I'm constantly like, got to get the new equipment. I got to try new equipment. I got to have an opinion on it. I got to compare it. So that's certainly a part of it. Um, and then lastly, like I just really enjoy training. I love training. I love being out there. I love pushing myself. I love finding new like creative ways to lift. I don't know. I love training. So that's one too. I
All
don't know
right.
if you're expecting that long of an answer, but that's fine.
I mean, I did fall asleep, but my main takeaway here is that you okay? Good. All right.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. So main takeaway is vanity. You want to look good naked, and
Of
then
course.
yeah. No, I can relate
Yeah,
to it though that you gotta, you want to test out a lot of different things. In some ways, our jobs are really different, but they're not because they kind of both involve like you kind of gotta try stuff because people ask for different things. They want to know about different
sure.
things. I'm in a similar spot where I'm like, okay, I better move and I better try out things because otherwise I'm not very credible, right?
Oh, right, right.
I don't know if you've ever missed a single workout in like the 2+ years that I've worked with you, which is impressive.
That's not true. I missed a few, but I tried not to. I do enjoy it. And I mean there's a blue collarness to it where you just got to get up and freaking do the thing.
Yeah,
Like if you want to build the habit, you got to do it. But I generally most of them I look really forward to.
yeah. You could have just went with I don't think you ever missed the workout, but you had to.
That was nice of you. Yeah, that was nice of you. That was nice of you.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're right though. We got to build up a little bit of an animosity between the two of us.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, do you have any with, going for bodybuilding more and kind of nerding out about it? Do you have any like specific goals other than what you want,
Mm,
which is
I mean,
all
I obviously in training, a goal is constant progression. So I'm obviously trying to increase training volume or training poundage. every workout and over every mesocycle. And so that's a focus in terms of like what's my end goal. I don't necessarily have one. The biggest thing is I've never really done like a bodybuilding specific, like focusing on the pump, the mind muscle connection, higher reps. Like I've always focused generally, even when I was even when I would say I was doing more hypertrophic work in the past, it was still strength focus. It was more power building type stuff. So I think I just wanted to do something different. So, I mean, one, because I want to put on size, but two is like I want to try and use and become an expert in all the machine equipment too, because it's a completely different dude. You fall into just a rabbit hole with machines and what's better on machines, and like there's machines out that you can't even find. Like I've got a ham curl. It's called the Star Trek Ham Tractor. It's actually based on the Flex Fitness Ham Tractor. It's like the rarest hamstring curl you can find. If anybody's watching this that's an OG, they get it, not some nephew, they'll understand what I'm talking about. This machine is the machine. But to even find this, it was like a game, dude. So it's like that's part of it too, is like it's like finding the equipment, learning about the equipment, using the equipment. But I don't think I create goals in the way most people do. I think a lot of people, they have to have like this goal. It's like this is the goal. That's what they're working towards. I'm really good about just the day to day. I really like the routine. I'm really good at like putting my head down and I'll just beat the thing. I'll just kill it till I'm done, And so like every day I'm not thinking like, oh, in 1 year, this will really pay off. I'm thinking like, I'm really enjoying this today. Like I'm just going to keep going. I don't know.
No, I love it. I mean, it's the whole thing of intrinsic motivation versus extrinsic motivation, right? Which
Mm-hmm.
I think actually sometimes the way you do it is perfect, but sometimes extrinsic motivation also gets a bad rep.
Sure.
You
Well,
can,
we had goals, like the Nordic curl. That was a very obvious goal. Is
yeah,
like 0 to 1. It's like you can either do a full Nordic curl all the way down or you can't. It's like I want to be able to do that. Or the one arm pull up. It's like you either can do it or you can't. Having those goals I think are great. I don't have any of those right now. I mean, still I would love to be able to do one arm pull up. I'm going to eventually, before I die, I'm going to do one arm pull up. But I got a ways to go on that. Right now, I'm just taking a little speed, side quest into bodybuilding, and then I'll be back.
hey, I know a guy that can help you out with that. But anyways, talk to me about your Nordics a little bit, because
Okay.
that was obviously sort of the big goal. Like since we started
Yeah,
working together, and then you went to Germany out of all places, and they told you have record-breaking hamstring strength.
they
So
said that. They did.
did.
They did. They said they hadn't had anybody with the amount of force that I exhibited on that Nordic machine. I forget the company. Really popular company. Millions of people have tried it. So no, I'm just kidding. Uh, so I started when we started doing Nordics. I had never done a Nordic. I had done GHRs, which anybody that does glute ham raises and hasn't done a Nordic, listen, Linda, it's a completely different level, dude. It is ridiculous how hard a Nordic. Like my mom, she's really into fitness. She was telling me how strong her hamstrings and glutes were. All that stuff. I was like, no, mom, have you ever done a Nordic? She's like, no. I was like, well, this is what you do. Describing it to her. She's like, that doesn't sound hard at all. So I was like, next workout, I want you to try to do a Nordic setup, with bars and stuff. So she came back to me. She's like, I fell on my face. She's like, I had no idea. I had
Okay.
no idea how hard and I think that's how most people are until you try. It's like, it doesn't look like it looks impressive, but it's not like, oh, that's completely different game than GHRs. I've done GHRs. No, man, it's just completely different. So when I started, I literally did the same thing my mom did. I just fell on my face. And it's not like I mean, I was strong, 500-pound deadlifter. Those require hamstrings, but the the strength I had in my hamstring was certainly much less than I have today. Where now I can do a full and multiple down, controlled down, not falling down, all the way, even the hardest points,
Yeah.
and then come back up. And so, dude, that's because we literally, like you and I did them. What do we do? Twice a week,
Yeah.
every week without missing. And every, like, dude, the amount of different variations you programmed, it was like, dude, it was hard work, but we had the goal and we got it done.
Yeah. So on the thumbnail goes, Mom, have you ever done the Nordic? And then she face planted. So if you have footage of that, that'd be awesome.
That would be,
Shout out Mom putting up with you.
yeah.
Yeah. And did you ever get frustrated with, because okay, so obviously Nordic that's a massive thing. Those are really hard.
Yeah, it was definitely frustrating in the beginning because you're like, man, I'm strong. Like just because you think you can pull a lot of weight or squat a lot of weight or whatever, a body weight movement always seems easier than a weighted movement. You know, like you always think like the guy with 600 pounds on the bar is way stronger than the guy doing body weight whatever on the rings or on the Nordic board, you know? But you're creating the most disadvantageous movement as like you can. And so like I don't know, it's just like I was thinking going into it like, oh, I'm going to be able to do this within a couple months maybe, you know, like this isn't a long-term goal. And then literally, I think it definitely took me over a year. Did it take longer than that, you think?
I think
A
it
year and a
took,
half maybe?
yeah, I think because with Nordics, it's kind of like at some point you're like, oh, I kind of did it, but then like,
Right. Yeah, there's
like
you like touch. There's something about when you do a Nordic and you're like you just touch the ground, it gives you like it's like touching a I don't know, like a Mario mushroom. You just feel like you just like you got a bunch of extra power suddenly.
it's
But
animated.
yeah, yeah, spear fingers. But I think it was definitely over a year before I could really do one. And it's not like a year of just like half-ass trying, haphazardly, like here and there. I'll do it every once in a while. No, it was like a grind. It was like we did it a lot. So throughout that process, there's definitely times that were like frustrating because I expected and I'm used to like quicker progress, and then it's like, man, this is not progressing. Whereas, say if you compare it to say a newbie on the squat,
Yeah.
it's like every week you're adding 5, 10 pounds, right? Well, on a Nordic, you don't necessarily see the progress as obvious. It's like it doesn't feel always like you're moving forward, even though you are.
Yeah, yeah, that's one thing that why most people don't really go for Nordics long term is because it's deceptive. If you can go halfway down, you're like, oh, I'm halfway there. No, you're not, because the bottom portion
Oh,
of
dude.
yeah, the moment arm around the knee joint is like way higher.
Yeah.
It's not double, it's like it feels like it's 10 times as hard,
Yep.
So it's
Yep.
like, oh, it's whatever, but like that very bottom portion is tough. Plus,
Yep.
thing is, it's not like you could do it quicker, right? Like if like, okay, Nordic is the only thing that I want to do. Let me do them like 3, 4 times in some
Right.
variation. But obviously there's other things you care about, like a massive chest and delts that just pop so hard that the room shakes. Yep, there you go. Oh,
Exactly. Oh, sorry.
oh,
Sorry.
you are filling the whole screen there for a second, sir. Do you feel like we struck a good balance during that time between all the different kind of goals you had?
Yeah, because definitely that was a goal. One arm pulse was a goal, which I haven't tried it in a while, but got pretty close. Probably
Yeah.
about here, I think somewhere around there. I have video of it. I mean, it's pretty darn close. It's just that last bit. Um, but all the while, actually, for a little bit there, I was also for like 6 months to a year, also doing jujitsu and
Yeah.
training hard. Like I was doing it every day. Also, yeah, I mean, yeah, I never felt like honestly every time I did Nordics, it was never like oh, I got to do Nordics again. Like I really enjoyed that movement and I enjoyed the process. And I didn't feel like it overwhelmed the rest of our training. Like it didn't take away from the rest of the stuff we were doing.
Yeah. And that obviously, yeah, if you do something like jujitsu or like what it was jujitsu, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. BJJ.
Yeah, there's just so much different martial
Yeah, I
arts,
know.
you know. Um, Yeah, they'll make it harder to recover, of course. But at the same point in time, that's not a bad thing to throw in if it keeps you going. When you see people aim for like, oh, I want to complete this a couple of weeks from now, and then it's like, okay, but how likely is it that you're going to get there this quick? So rather focus on like the progress than the outcome, sprinkling some
Yeah,
fun stuff that might make things go a little slower, but you're actually going to be into it for a little bit longer. So I think you always did a really good job of having a good, like you were able to see the forest and not just the trees. And I'm glad,
sure.
I don't know, it's just kind of fun. It's, I started jujitsu. I'm just okay, all right, well, that's fine. Just don't die on the mat or something like that.
Yeah,
But I don't know if you remember, but the very first on our
I
very
remember
first
everything.
call.
So yes.
Okay, well, okay, and then tell me on our very first call, what did I tell you who you reminded me of or who you are to me?
Well, you said Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm just kidding. I don't remember.
Now, I compare you to Kim Kardashian because to me as a strength
What
and
a
conditioning coach,
what a diss
you're famous to me. Like you're the equipment guy. And I was
in the
like,
smallest, yeah, in a very small niche. I am famous.
yeah, you are the guy. I had the great fortune to work with some pretty cool people, but I was like kind of nervous to talk to you because my entire garage gym is like he basically built it. He's so cool.
Yes.
Like, all my friends know who that is. So I'm
And then
like,
you met me, and you're like, "Oh, this guy's a loser."
well, I don't want to go that far, but yes.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. But do you think over those like 2 years and some that your perspective on exercise has shifted?
I mean, I definitely learned a lot working together. Learned about programming. Um, that's for sure. But in terms of exercise, not necessarily. Uh, I see exercise as a tool,
Yeah.
as something that everybody should do. Um, uh, so yeah, I don't think it really. I'd love to give you a better answer, but I don't feel like it changed very much.
No, that's fine. I mean, I'm glad to say that you say you learned something. I'm going to put that on.
Oh, I definitely learned a lot. Yeah, I definitely learned a lot.
I
Like
do.
we would throw in all different kinds of movements. You also impressed the importance upon me of doing sprinting work, which I really liked, and I try to do more. Just movement throughout the day, which like some of the stuff. Like the benefit to having a coach is not always obvious until you have one. And now that I like don't have you, it's like I have to force myself to do things. There's just things that like I don't have accountability on. That accountability is really helpful for, like just constant movement throughout the day. There's so many things that you should do, um, but having somebody there who's like, "Hey, did you do the thing today?" It's like that's really helpful. And so, uh, when I first went with uh, my prior coach to you, I needed that. And then as I had you, I still like it was beneficial. Um, but I think I've just right now I'm in a season. I mean, you constantly change, but I'm just in a season where training is so enjoyable and I so look forward to it. I don't necessarily need accountability right now, but there are times I know in the future where I will. And when I do, I'll definitely find, I'll probably call back to
Something
you.
find someone else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget that even for someone like me, it's helpful to reach out. Like a couple months ago, I went to physical therapist just because like, hey, there's like one little thing that I can't really figure out about my body. It's those
Yeah.
little things. Like I told you, I'm pumped. If you're in a good spot. So I don't know, I just want you to be healthy, happy, muscular, and throwing your kids around, not too high, not into the fan behind.
Sometimes too high.
Yeah, yeah. So no, I love to hear that. Do you have any when you look forward over the next couple of years past bodybuilding, do you think there's any other goals that intrigue you? I know we kind of talked about a marathon not being on the horizon. Um,
No.
is there anything else that you want to achieve in the gym or outside that's related to physical activity over the long run?
Yeah, I think a lot of my competitive side, I like I am competitive. I'm very competitive. Uh But my competitive side, I feel like I'm able to uh scratch that itch in business where I don't feel like I need to compete in fitness related stuff or body, like I would never do a bodybuilding show. I mean, I say that, but I don't think I would ever do a bodybuilding show. There's things I don't necessarily feel like I need to compete in order to like enjoy the process. That I don't need that as like a carrot, to keep me
Yeah.
accountable or something. I don't really. I mean, right now, I don't have like a specific goal. I just want to put on some muscle, and then after that, maybe I'll realize it's impossible for me to put on muscle, or maybe I do put on muscle, and I stretch my natural limits, which aren't going to be that high. That's one of the problems with like the time we live in today is your perception of how you should look is so based on impossible for natural people to attain. It's just like unless I go on something, it's never going to happen. And I have no desire to go on anything except for maybe TRT someday, but like, so I'm going to probably reach a natural limit. I'd like to, that'd be cool. And then it'll probably be something else. Maybe I want to go back to strength training, like specifically like powerlifting or something. I don't know. It's hard for me to say what would be next, but I know I'll always be in the gym somehow. I'll always be working out. I'll always be lifting. My kids, that's one. My kids may change my training as they get older. Like maybe my kids are really into sports or train for some specific, and I want to be able to help them the best that I can. So maybe me training how they train just so I know how to program for them may be helpful. And just so I can be in the gym with them and do the same thing with them. So that may change it. But for now, they're so young, they're just out there playing. So whatever. Like my son came to me, I got a new leg extension and it had a stack on it. And he told his mom, that he got a new high score of 130 pounds because he was able to just get the stack to lift off. But he calls it a high score instead of a PR. It's like the cutest thing in the world, stuff like that. I love stuff like that.
Man, Coop, I'll tell you this. You've always seemed like an annoyingly great dad to me. You're like you're setting the bar really high of like, I'll my kids, I'm gonna run like 20 different programs on myself just so I can make sure that each one of them is training well. No. But I hear you on the so the limit stuff of like your natural limits because
Yeah.
it's so skewed nowadays where
Oh yeah.
you can walk into any gym, not any garage gym because there's only one person in there at a time usually, but
That's right.
you can walk anywhere and you don't know who's doing what and how realistic is that and everything that we're fed online and when we watch movies, it's like, okay, that person may or may not do
Right.
something that you're not doing that you may or may not want to do. And they're
Yeah.
also like probably miserable right now because they're eating just every single ounce of what someone told them to eat and they hate it. But I loved working with you for a variety of reasons. One, you're my Kim Kardashian. Two, you just have such a great outlook, I think, on exercise in the short, medium, and long term, right? It's like, what can you realistically achieve? How does that feed into your life, the life of your family? And I'm just, when you're saying you want to be a badass 90-year-old, I'm like, whether it's with me or without me, like I know that you'll get there because you're just
Thanks,
really
bro.
reasonable like that. No, actually, Coop, without me, no, it's not. But
Well, so much. Bill Gates has a quote, which I'm not saying I love this guy, but his quote's really good. It's that we underestimate or we overestimate what we can do in the short term, and we underestimate what we can do in the long term. We're so focused on these short term results that it can prevent us from doing things long term. So my goal is like I just want to stack a brick every day. So I tell my kids, if my kids were here, I'd ask them, "How do you eat an elephant?" They'd say, "One bite at a time, Dad." How do you build a house? One brick at a time, Dad. It's like that's a legacy I want to live. It's like if you want to do something, it's just continual stacking of bricks over the long term. And so that's how I view my training. It's like I'm not expecting the results tomorrow. And that's how everything happens in life, you know, whether it's business or your marriage or whatever you want to like do well in, it like just takes a lot of just perseverance, endurance, and just continual going for it.
Yeah. Consistency, small changes over a long time, consistent
Yeah.
effort. That's and it's so starkly opposed to the everything you see on magazine covers and here and there. It's like here's a
Oh yeah.
challenge. You know, lose slash gain 20 pounds of fat slash muscle. And like, yeah,
Yeah,
no.
dude.
That one that
No.
won't happen too. It just keeps us in such a spiral of like, I can't delay gratification on this. I
Yeah.
have to see success right away. And it's to be fair, I'm not looking down upon that mindset because things like life is hard, right? Life is
Sure.
hard, exercise is hard, and fitting that into your life is really hard. Making the changes of habit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is why I think you are just going to be successful regardless, is because you have those habits. You had those habits before me. I've helped you in some kind of way.
I wouldn't have Nordic curls, that's for sure.
That's right. Okay, always remember that. Get my name tattooed somewhere on your hamstring. Um, but it's like you can make those changes. I know you played hockey when you grew up, right? But was there
Yeah.
ever a time where you didn't work out a lot?
I mean, when I was a kid, you know, and like, I mean, when I started training like 16 or 15 or so. And then I got really into it later in high school. I mean, since then, I've pretty much trained pretty hard.
So when you
Yeah.
were two, you had a week off, basically.
Yeah. When I was young, I didn't know. I just remember seeing my dad working out and just kind of like me with my kids, like I would just go out in the garage and hang out with them. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't know it was working out.
Yeah. Wait, did you say you was a power lifter?
Yep. Yeah. Power lifter. And my mom was always, she was a marathon runner, a very good marathon runner. She ran Boston. Um, but I mean, her and my dad are both just beasts, dude. They're just very, like, they just do the thing. If they say they're going to do it, they do it. And very consistent. So seeing my parents wake up at 4 a.m. to work out before everything else, always getting their workout in, always considering what they ate. You know, it didn't mean they had all the knowledge of what nutrition, but always were always thoughtful of what they put in their body. It's things like that I just grew up with. And dude, it became so natural to me. And I hope to do the same thing for my kids.
Yeah. I think that's another good point of you saying they paid attention to sort of their nutrition, but they weren't quote unquote perfect, which I don't think there
Yeah.
is such a thing. But
Yeah.
you can achieve, I think, so much with 80% effort 100% of the time,
Oh
more so
yeah.
than if you give 100%, because that's usually not unless you are Arnold. That's just
Yeah.
not really sustainable to
Oh
be
yeah.
perfect in any kind of way. Do you have any final thoughts, any negative rant about me, any positive, anything that you just want to say about how you work out, your outlook on exercise or anything? You're interviewing yourself yet again right here, so apologies for that. But
No, I'm thankful for you, Morton. You were very consistent as a coach. There was never like I never had to worry if the workouts would be there, if the workouts were just some like you know I never felt like, oh, he just like sandbagging it and getting this put in so I had something, you know. It was always thoughtful. You were never offended, which is a great trait. You know, it's like I could just tell you if I didn't like something, and it just like we just move on. It was never a problem, which is a great trait to have, especially today. Um, so, I mean, that's about it. I'm thankful for you as a coach, and you do a great job.
stop. Well, I appreciate you saying that. Been my pleasure. I know we'll stay in touch, and if you need me,
Yes,
I'm one call or text away. I might pick up or I might not.
same here, Morton. But I will pick up.
All right,
I'll
bro.
even beat you in kindness.
Oof. Ooh, game's on. And that's the end of the video, unless you're into awkward endings. All right. I don't know how to end these things. Do I just say bye? You're like the media person. Do you just
I always have a phrase. I just say, "I'll see you next time. Peace."
okay, well,
I guess, yeah. You ask a question to get engagement, you know, something like that.
um
I would say something if you are looking for a coach, something like that. If you're looking for a coach and any of this inspires you or whatever, reach out to me. My link's below. I would say my email is below the like button.
All right. If you want to train like Coop, my email is in the, what do you call it? Not the subscription
The
box.
link below the like button, the description box.
Yeah, what he said. If I have
Mash that subscribe button.